hear it in the background, but it's live entertainment.
Yeah, that is usually pretty drowned out. The same thing with the Zambonis.
Yeah.
You usually don't hear them. We hear them a lot. So, by the way, if that does happen, if they roll the Zambonis out, just ignore it.
Yeah.
No one else is. You can hear a low rumble, but it's not distracting or anything like that. So, I want to pull up. All right, Miles. I am ready to go. If you guys are ready to go,
Sure.
We can go live. Don't feel shy. You can yell out. It's just like I was telling Lynn. We're talking to 3 people.
Yep.
So that's basically how it is. What's wrong? Do we have the camera on? Do we have you flip the camera back on? Yeah. All right. Let's roll open. Welcome inside Bojangles Coliseum. And look, the dog days of summer are right around the corner, but the playoffs are even closer, as the Charlotte Checkers, who punched their ticket to the postseason, will host another team who is playoff bound in the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins right here on Pooch Party, presented by Nutrisource. My name is TJ Chillot, voice of the Charlotte Checkers. Happy to have you alongside and very excited to be joining me here on the show. Ryan Prusia, season ticket holder of the Charlotte Checkers, is going to be joining me as my special guest co-host. We also have Lynn Carrie, another one of our season ticket holders. She's going to be joining a little bit later here in the show. And Ryan, I know you are a diehard fan, and I know how much you love hockey, how much you pay attention to this team. So I want to dive right in and let's talk about Tuesday in that big win over the Providence Bruins.
Sure. Yeah, it was a great win. I mean, yeah, we clinched the playoffs, but I think the bigger thing is clinching that second seed to avoid the first-round bye, and the boys came out like it was a playoff game, so it was a good show.
As you can see on your screen right now, we've got a bunch of highlights from the game, and when you really look at what happened in that contest, with the Checkers getting the goal from Trevor Carrick, his 13th of the year on the power play, as well as, getting the goal to kick things off from Trevor Carrick, on the power play. The Checkers did a fantastic job of getting out in front of Providence in a very tight contest. It was one of those games where, look, it was the first time the Checkers had seen the Providence Bruins all year. You weren't sure what you were going to get. And I'm sure, as you know as a player and someone who competes against teams every now and then, it's tough when you get into a matchup against a team that you haven't seen before.
Yeah, especially this far into the season. I mean, if it's in the beginning of the season, kind of no one knows anybody yet, but by this time, every team's got their systems down, so it can be tough to scout when you're kind of burned into your brain the way you guys want to play.
Absolutely. So the Checkers get the win on Tuesday and then immediately roll into a Wednesday game against the Providence Bruins, and boy, this one was a thriller. They ultimately end up completing the sweep behind a 6-3 final on Wednesday. John Leonard getting involved in the scoring. He becomes just the 6th Charlotte Checker all-time to get 30-plus goals in a season. Trevor Carrick getting on the board. The power play successful, converting at 50%. They were 3 for 6 in that game. Did you have any takeaways maybe in terms of what was different between Tuesday night's contest and Wednesday night's game?
I wasn't sure the reason, but I did notice it was a lot less physical. I think both teams kind of went out hard in that first game. There were a lot of hits in the first period. I think there was a scrap, too. And the second game was a lot less physical, but, I mean, the boys still went hard on the forecheck, and it was still a playoff-style game. And like you said, those power plays really helped.
You're absolutely right, and it's good to see the power play wake back up because obviously with that win, the Checkers clinched their spot in the Calder Cup postseason. They are now currently tied with the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins for second in the division, which leads into a huge series here at the Biscuit this weekend. Charlotte Checkers record right now, 37-19, 3-3, 80 points on the year. And look, right now we're thinking first round bye, whether that's first place and winning the Atlantic Division for the second time in 4 years, or if they can get into second place. They've got to fight off the pesky Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. This team is totally different from the last time we saw them before the trade deadline. They completely jostled their lineup. What do you expect out of Wilkes-Barre?
They have a really good team, especially looking at their forward group. A lot of guys that, to me, I think should be in the NHL. Guys like Puustinen and Yeto. I mean, they're bona fide NHL players in my book. So especially on the power play, I think taking away their shots is going to be a big key.
Yeah, when you talk about, like, especially Matt Nieto, I mean, he spent the last 5-6 years at the NHL full-time. Like, AHL was not on his mind through the course, but now being in the league for 8-9 years, he's coming into the twilight of his career. He's making a big impact here for this Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins team, and they've got a lot of big names that can certainly kill you no matter where they are on the ice. And if I'm looking at a couple of players to really watch, it's their goaltending. When you look at Sergei Murashov, who's played 12 games in the American Hockey League, 1 in relief, and in the 11 that he started, he's 11-0. A guy that started in the ECHL with Wheeling this year, came up, and has just been lights out for the Penguins in the American Hockey League. Their other goaltenders have been really stellar as well. Now, we haven't seen Joel Blomqvist in a little while. He has been hurt, so I don't think we're going to see him this weekend. But at the same time, the Charlotte Checkers goaltending group has been fantastic between Kaapo Kahkonen, who seems to be getting more of the workload now that he's getting comfortable with the way this team runs. You also talk about Cooper Black, who I think we might see here tonight. I don't know who the starter is going to be just yet, but I think we might see Cooper Black in this game. And Ken Appleby, of course, is tied for the league in shutouts on the season. Philip Larson, the other goaltender for the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins, is tied with Ken Appleby with 5 shutouts on the season. Their defense, their penalty killing is so strong. When you look at this Penguins team and you look at the roster and scratches night in and night out, you go, how is this guy scratched? And you know they're not injured, but it's just because their depth, they are very dangerous to try and make a push.
Yeah, and that's why they're in, kind of the spot we are in the standings. They're a very good team. It's going to be a tough matchup. This is playoff hockey starting in March.
Both teams have the exact same standings points. The Checkers are currently in second. By way, they have more regulation wins than the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. But when you look at Charlotte's record, 37-19, 3-3 to go against Wilkes-Barre's 36-18, 7-1. As I mentioned, both teams with those 80 points, 62 games played. We're coming up on the nitty-gritty. I mean, there are only 14 games left.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we are coming up on the end of the season. There's only 4 home games left right here at the Coliseum. And today I know that we have a special friend who's joining us as part of Hooch Party. We all had the honor of meeting Leia, who's floating around here somewhere. So she'll be joining us, and we hope that you get the opportunity to bring your pups out as well. Tickets are still on sale. Head to charlottecheckers.com. If you do want to bring out your furry friend, make sure that you pick up the dog ticket, as dogs will be seated in a special area in the Coliseum here tonight, just to help those who are allergic to dogs and just to kind of keep the dogs all contained in one section of the arena. So Ryan, when you look back at this whole season in general, what are some of your takeaways? I know that you're not on the show every week to have given us your progress report as we went along, so I'm curious to hear as a fan what your takeaways are about this.
The thing that's impressed me most is I know we had a lot of good prospects coming up from the coast and from college, and Florida Panthers have done a good job supplying a lot of pro-level players too, like Asplund. But with all the injuries we've had, I'm impressed that these guys have been able to come up, fill in those spots, and we're still in this playoff spot. And have a chance to get the first round bye, which would just be huge.
When you talk about Zach Dalpe still not out there, no Ryan McAllister, no Aiden McDonough, no Mackenzie Entwistle, no Reese Gaber,
There's 2 forward lines right there.
Unbelievable. And good forward lines, guys that are putting up points. I mean, McAllister, McDonough were on fire when they got hurt. And we've seen a handful of injuries to other guys sporadically. Sandis Vilmanis, Mike Benning earlier this season, just a handful of guys that kind of come in and out. And that's chemistry for you, right? I mean, as a guy who plays you know what it's like when half your team can't show up for a game. You got to play with other guys that you don't normally play with.
Yeah, and I think that helps too. You're close with all the guys, which I'm sure I know a lot of these guys live together. I mean, you're practicing every week together too. So even if you're not playing in games together, hopefully you're getting reps in practice with guys and stuff too. So there's a little bit of chemistry if you have to get thrown together if someone goes down.
And we talked about this in the last Checkers pregame live before they went on that road trip. I had mentioned that I thought that road trip coming up was going to be the best thing for them because they were going to spend the better part of a week and a half, almost 2 weeks on the road, rooming with each other, spending time on the bus, going from city to city. Players galvanize in that type of scenario. You know, that chemistry, their friendship, they get to hang out, not at home. You know, it's not just go to practice, go to the rink, go home. You know, it's go to the practice, go to the rink, but then you're going back to the hotel with your guys and you're bored, you know, your wife, your fiance, your girlfriend, not hanging around. It's just like, well, what am I going to do in my spare time? I'm going to hang with the guys.
Exactly.
And that helps galvanize things. And when the team went 4-2 on that run, it's no surprise that they've won their last 4 now, and they got that big sweep over Providence.
Yeah, huge wins. And another big road trip coming up after this. Not a lot of home games, very road-heavy schedule to end the season. So we'll see a lot more of that heading into playoffs too, which would be huge.
So, without any further ado, let's jump into my Hendrick Acura keys to the game. Number 1, the Charlotte Checkers have to avoid the letdown. And this same thing could be said for the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. Both of these clubs clinched their playoff spot on Wednesday. Is there going to be a hangover in this game? I venture to guess no, simply because of the fact that there is still so much riding on this game. I mean, both teams are just 5 points out of the Atlantic Division lead. Both teams are fighting and scrapping for, if not first, second place, so they get that first round bye. We saw what happened last year with the Charlotte Checkers, who welcomed Hartford in for the first round in that 3-game series. Anything can happen in 3-game series. The Checkers went out, walloped Hartford in game 1. They had beaten them 8 out of the 9 games that they had played each other here at the Coliseum last season, and it was just, you thought it was total dominance. And then game 2, Hartford sneaks out a win in overtime. And then game 3, the Checkers weren't up to the challenge, and Hartford advances. So those 3-game series, they are tricky. So you have to avoid the letdown here tonight. I would expect head coach Jordy Kinnear to go with a traditional roster tonight. I know the Checkers have added a couple of new faces, such as Brett Shorsky, as well as Liam McLinsky, and a handful of other guys out of the collegiate ranks. I don't expect them to play in this series unless it were like a blowout here tonight and he wanted to get some new faces into the lineup, whether that's a blowout positively or negatively for that matter. I just don't see that there's too much hanging on the line going into this matchup against Wilkes-Barre Scranton. Could I see them playing maybe in the game against Bridgeport later on in their road trip, or perhaps in the Utica series here at the Coliseum to wrap up the home portion of the regular season? Yes, I might be able to see that. But the Checkers got to do everything to treat this like they have not clinched yet. Like this is an elimination game, that if you don't win this, you're not even making it into the playoffs. We know that's not true, but that's how you got to trick your mind into thinking going into this one. So my second Hendrick Acura key to the game, establish the forecheck early. It kind of goes hand in hand with avoiding that letdown. If the Checkers can just be completely oppressive to start this game and establish that forecheck, put the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins on their heels, it's going to be huge for their momentum as they try to avoid that letdown. The Charlotte Checkers are 11-5 in game 1 of these back-to-back series when they are playing the same team night after night. There's a reason for that. When the team has to travel down here, like the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins, who just played on Wednesday, mind you, they had to travel on Thursday, get acclimated on Friday, and boom, they're into a Saturday afternoon, 4 o'clock start. These hockey players, they love to be creatures of habit. You throw in a 4 o'clock start for a road team, that throws everything off. You're not reporting at the rink at your traditional 4 o'clock for a 7 o'clock puck drop. Now, all of a sudden, you're at the rink 12, 1 o'clock. It's a little bit earlier. It cut into your breakfast, cut into your workout. Your morning skate was a little bit earlier. All that stuff plays into it. The Checkers have to come out and establish that forecheck. They have to be hungry. They have to be fast right out of the gates. It's only going to help that letdown. It's going to help avoid that letdown and might really force Wilkes-Barre Scranton to battle back in the Sunday matchup as we move forward throughout the weekend. So that was my second key. My third Hendrick Acura key to the game, leverage special teams. This is a huge comparison point between these two teams. When you look at special teams, The Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins, they have the best power play in the American Hockey League. The Charlotte Checkers have the second best power play in the American Hockey League. When you look at penalty killing, the Checkers have the best penalty killing unit in the American Hockey League. The Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins, they are third in the division, 8th overall. So you are looking between the two teams, those 4 units are all top 10. And outside of the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins penalty kill, they are both top all 3 of those categories. Charlotte's penalty kill, Charlotte's power play, Wilkes-Barre Scranton's power play are all top 2 in the American Hockey League. Not just the division, the league. You've got to win those battles. The Checkers going 3 for 6 against Providence, that's huge. But they're going to have a little bit more of a difficult time here, I think, against this Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins team because of how defensively minded they are and how good their goaltending can be. So those are my Hendrick accurate keys to the game. Number 1, avoid the letdown. Number 2, establish the forecheck early. And number 3, leverage special teams. So before we go any further, we're going to take a real quick break here. We're going to invite in Lynn Carrie, one of our season ticket holders. She's going to chat with us here in just a bit. Before we do, Ryan, I want to just chat with you for 30 more seconds. You're a longtime Charlotte Checkers fan. What makes you proud to be a member of the Charlotte Checkers family and to be a fan?
I mean, it's just great to come here, every week or every other week when we have games and just, get away from everything else, have fun at the rink. Watch a good hockey team. Winning's always more fun, so it's just been a great thing to get out of, other parts of life.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for joining me here.
Thank you.
We really appreciate it. I know you're going to hang out over there with Leia. It's going to be a lot of fun. Pooch party. We're getting ready to kick things off. We've got Lynn Carrie coming up next. We're going to go ahead and preview not only the rest of this game and the promo for tomorrow, but we're going to get ready to go for Puck Drop coming up in just a bit. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.
They got it muted.
Now, whatever you click on the left is just going to go into the edit. So
Mike's live.
All right, ready? Give us a countdown. Let's go live. Welcome back inside Checkers pregame live. TJ Chillot, voice of the Charlotte Checkers, happy to have you alongside, and I'm so thrilled to have Lynn Carrie joining me up here behind the desk. Season ticket holders of the Charlotte Checkers, and I know you guys, such awesome fans. What has that experience been like for you? How did you get started? Why did you become a season ticket holder in the first place?
Well, we've been hockey fans for a long time, and when we moved here, we learned of the Charlotte Checkers, so we started coming, enjoying the level of play. We'd come off and on to games, and then we realized, hey, there's season ticket holder experience, so this is our first year, and we're already signed up for next year. As a hockey fan, it takes you to a whole new level as a season ticket holder. In addition to all the perks for discounts on merchandise, tickets, the concessions, special events throughout the year, you also feel like I have a hockey family now with the other season ticket holders in your area. You're there each game to cheer on the Checkers, and then with coming to all the games, you already have your established seats, your friends, and then you cheer on the Checkers. You watch them evolve throughout the year, and we're so fortunate here in Charlotte to have such a good level of play for hockey, but yet at a reasonable price. And I'd love to see even more fans coming out. I noticed this year, and probably the level of play, there are more fans this year than there were last year, which is awesome to see. But if you're a hockey fan out there and you want to take your fan experience to a new level, I encourage you to check out being a season ticket holder. But even if not, you've never been to hockey, you got to come to a game here and see, because everything, the whole experience as even a hockey fan, from your help here, down Miles down announcing the game, Greasy Keys, I feel he's one of the best organists in the AHL. We have Jamal, our friendly usher, who's awesome. Everybody here, Mark, our ticket rep, season ticket holder rep, he's been awesome. So it's just, as you can tell, we're excited, and we continue to be season ticket holders. And then with them in the playoffs now, we've also secured our playoff seats, so we'll continue that throughout the playoffs to cheer them on.
I think it's funny, too, as you say seats. Yours and your husband Scott's seats are right here where we are standing, where we broadcast this show live from every Saturday. We are right here in the Carrie seats, and that's not how you ended up on the show either. It's not like I was, taking up their space and like, hey, what are you doing? If you're going to do that, we got to get on board. No, it was a random drawing. You had signed up, and you were the name that I pulled out of the proverbial hat. So we're so thankful to have you guys here. When you think about the Coliseum and it's like game day, in the morning, you're like, oh yeah, the Checkers have a game. What do you get most excited about? What kind of ramps you up?
Just coming to the arena, because there's everything from the different games they have, the music, there's a level of excitement here. I feel, to me, hockey is just the most exciting sport out there.
It is. It really is. I mean, if you talk to anybody who had never seen a hockey game and then went to a hockey game and then became a lifelong fan, you will find more of them out there than in any other sport. There's a lot of people that go to baseball games for the first time and then maybe never go again, or go in another 5 years, 10 years. Hockey, it's almost like an addiction. You go once and you're like, oh, this is fun. One last question, because I know we got to wrap things up. What is your favorite part about being a season ticket holder? And if you were talking to someone who's on the fence right now, what would you tell them to convince them that this is the best thing for you?
Right. I think it's the friends that you make around you as season ticket holders. They're there every game, and there's a level of camaraderie that you have there, and you feel more connected to the Checkers themselves, and it's a great experience as a hockey fan.
It's like we said with Ryan at the end, we're so thankful to have you part of our family, because it's the front office, it's the team, it's hockey ops, and of course it's the fans. One thing that I say quite frequently, I said it last week in talking with a fan, is that, players come and go, broadcasters can come and go, front office members can come and go, but fans stay. I mean, there are fans who have been with the Checkers since 2010 who are still here and who can tell you every name of every player on that team from that first year and everybody in the front office, and pretty much none of them are left. I mean, okay, Zach Dalby's a cheat code because he came back, but at the end of the day, this team belongs to the fans. So we're so thankful at the end of the day to have you, your husband, Scott, Ryan, everybody, every season ticket holder. We're so thankful for you all. And reminder, hey, you can get your season tickets for next year. They're available right now. CharlotteCheckers.com is the place to go for that. You can also get your pay-as-we-play packages for the playoffs as well if you want to get involved with the Charlotte Checkers and be here for the stretch run with how well this team's been playing. We're hoping for a very deep run. We're hoping that, we get a handful of home games here at Bojangles Coliseum. But before we can even get to the playoffs, before we can even get to any of that, we've got today's game, Pooch Party, presented by Nutrisource, right here at the Biscuit. Head to CharlotteCheckers.com to get your tickets, whether it's just a human-only ticket or if you want to get the dog ticket. You can see those right there on the website. You can also check out the pay-as-we-play options, or take a look at tomorrow's promos. We celebrate Margaritaville right here at the Coliseum. So there's going to be some tropical flair thanks to our friends at World Travel Mates, who are going to make it a really fun atmosphere on a Sunday afternoon. So it's going to be a great time. Checkers and Penguins, game number 1 of this 2-game set is coming your way in just a couple hours. You still got time to get your tickets. Head to CharlotteCheckers.com. biscuit.com. For Ryan Prusia, as well as Lynn Carrie, Scott Carrie, and everybody out there tuned in, my name is TJ Chillot. Thank you, Miles Conrad, for producing our show today. We'll see you all here at the Biscuit. We've only got 4 home games left in the regular season. Make sure you get your tickets. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you next time. We'll be before the Utica game on April the 17th. We'll see you here for Checkers Pregame Live.